Even at the time Muhammad, they saw UFOs. I saw something like a cloud containing what looked like lamps. The Prophet said those were angels. I saw something like a canopy with what seemed to be lamps in it rising up in the sky till it disappeared. These were the angels who listened to you. Did you know that even the hadiths record that even at the time of Muhammad, they saw UFOs? Let me get the hadith. I was shocked when I saw this in the hadith, like maybe over 10 years ago. I go, no way. Really? There in the hadiths? Yep. Here it goes. So here's the hadith. Sahih Bukhari, volume 6, hadith 536. I'm going to enlarge it. You tell me what this sounds like. UFOs have been documented by everyone. UFOs have been known from the time of the fall of Adam. It's not new. So why you guys like freaking out? Save the hadith. Chapter, the descent of a sakina and angels at the time of recitation of the Quran. Supposedly the presence of God. Now you tell me who descended upon these Muslims. Chapter 15, descent of sakina. Narrated Usayd bin Hudayr that while he was reciting Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, at night, and his horse was tied beside him, the horse was suddenly startled and troubled. When he stopped reciting, the horse became quiet. And when he started again, the horse startled again. Then he stopped reciting and the horse became quiet too. He started reciting again and the horse was startled and troubled once again. Then he stopped reciting. His son Yahya was beside the horse. He was afraid that the horse might trample on him. When he took the boy away and looked towards the sky, the prince, the ruler of the power of the air, the sky, Ephesians 2:2, he could not see it. The next morning, he informed the Prophet, who said, recite, O bin Hudayr, recite, O bin Hudayr. Ibn Hudayr replied, Allah's messenger, my son Yahya was near the horse, and I was afraid that I might trample on him. So I looked towards the sky and went to him. Now watch. When I looked at the sky, I saw something like a cloud containing what looked like lamps. You're telling me that's not a description of a UFO? A cloud that looked like it had lights? Note, it's called a cloud. Jesus went into a cloud because that's the language they used back then. They're not going to call it a UFO, UAP. So what do you think he saw? That was a demon. The Muslims saw either Satan or a demon, just like Prophet Yahweh. Prophet Yahweh on ABC Vegas. What did they saw? An orange orb. And he summoned that orb. Nothing new under the sun. They've been with us from the time of the fall of Adam and Eve. I'm going to give you another hadith. All right. So I went on in order not to see it. The Prophet said, do you know what that was? Ibn Hudayr replied, no. The Prophet said, those were angels. See, even Muhammad knew they were spirit beings. You're right, Muhammad. They were angels, all right. Satan, demons who came near to you for your voice. And if you had kept on reciting till dawn, it would have remained there till morning when people would have seen it, as it would not have disappeared. Just like that guy from Vegas, Prophet Yahweh prayed, and it appeared on TV. Same demon, same Satan. Now let me give you the other hadith. Now watch here. This is Sahih Muslim. The descent of tranquility when the Quran is recited. Abu Sayyid al-Khudri told of Usayd bin Hudayr, saying that one night he recited the Quran in his enclosure. When the horse began to jump about, he again recited and the horse again jumped. He again recited and it jumped as before. Usayd said, I was afraid lest it should trample his son Yahya. I stood near it, the horse, and saw something like a canopy over my head with what seemed to be lamps in it rising up in the sky till it disappeared. If you saw that today, what would you call that? This is written about 200 years after the death of Muhammad. They're describing to you a UAP, a UFO. What would you call that today? Yeah, but today you'd call it a UFO, right? I went to the Messenger of Allah on the next day and said, Messenger of Allah, I recited the Quran during the night in my enclosure, and my horse began to jump. Upon this, the Messenger of Allah said, you should have kept on reciting Ibn Udair. He said, I recited, it jumped as before. Upon this, the Messenger of Allah again said, you should have kept on reciting Ibn Udair. He, Ibn Udair, said, I recited and again jumped as before. The Messenger of Allah again said, you should have kept on reciting Ibn Udair. He, Ibn Udair, said, Messenger of Allah, I finished recitation for Yahya, was near the horse, and I was afraid lest it should trample him. Even the horse saw it, was afraid. I saw something like a canopy with what seemed to be lamps in it, rising up in the sky till it disappeared. Upon this, the Messenger of Allah said, these were the angels who listened to you. Yeah, these were the demons, Satan, Muhammad's father. And if you had continued reciting, the people would have seen them in the morning, and they would not have concealed themselves from them. Okay?